So Borderlands 3 is getting its first updates for 2020 really soon, including of course a level cap increase, a new seasonal event for Valentine's Day, and of course the second paid story DLC for the game is also gonna be showed during PAX East towards the end of this month, so on February 27th, which honestly does sound really exciting. If you're tuning in on their official Twitch channel, you will see that the official Borderlands 3 show is probably still running by the time this video gets posted. But otherwise, you can also go ahead and read their blog post, their community love letter that has just been posted on the official website. But nonetheless, let's talk about some of the changes that are awaiting us, as well as a few more mentions about the new story DLC that is going to drop really soon. So really exciting stuff as always. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up on it would be super appreciated. But let's get started with the true takedown mode that has been announced as early as last month, and this has been done during the takedown at Mellow and Black site rescale update that pretty much scaled the takedown at your current party size. So according to the notes over here, true takedown mode delivers the extreme difficulty we always intended for takedown content by tuning the experience for a full party of 4 decked out Vault Hunters. To access the True Vault Hunter mode, according to the notes over here, simply activate the lever located on the right side of the door leading out of the airlock at the beginning of the map. Remember, this is meant to be some of the most challenging content in all of Borderlands 3, so don't get discouraged if your team keeps getting wrecked in True Takedown mode when it goes live in the February patch. So yeah, this pretty much confirms that we are getting that patch in February, maybe as early as this week. But this does sound like Black Site is gonna get back at how it was when it was first introduced, as in designed for a full party of 4 decked out Vault Hunters ready to take it on, which honestly doesn't really sound that impressive when we think about the fact that the Mellow and Black side was soloed on first day on Mayhem 4, while characters especially like Amara and Mose were the best at doing it, since many of their builds were very powerful and had a ton of survivability as well as damage. Things did change since then, a few things have been nerfed here and there. There's other builds that have been made more powerful since then, so now both Zane and Flag have also access to the Mellow and Black side, but this does sound like they're going back to the Black side roots, though this time around it might very well be implied that it might be more difficult, though the wording here, at very least in my opinion, is pretty much the same as how it was when it was previously announced, actually even before the Black site was added in the game when it was first announced last year. So maybe I'm wrong on this one, but it doesn't really sound that impressive unless you also take a look at the second change, which is going to be the level cap increase. So according to the notes over here, a Vault Hunter level is going to be increased from level 50 to 53. So we're getting a whooping 3 new levels, which also means 3 new skill points, which also means that it's gonna be better for many builds out there. If you know there was an edge that one of your builds required in order to become better, I think these 3 skill points are going to help out with that, but I don't think they're going to be a complete game changer. I think that it's gonna be a marginal increase at best, depending on depending on the gear that you have on the character and the build that you're running with. But there are probably going to be a handful of builds that are going to greatly benefit even from just 3 of these skill points. So I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out, but yeah, these are some amazing changes to some degree, because on the other side you are going to have to pretty much go back in the game and refarm everything you have. Trust me on this one, even like a few item levels, a few stats here and there are gonna be annoying, and you will want to farm the best of the best gear possible in the game, especially now that gear is gonna also be like higher level since well, level cap has been increased. So I'm not sure about this too much. Level 50 to 53 I would have probably preferred if they didn't increase the level cap, or if they did it, maybe a bit more substantial, but maybe that's just me. Leave your opinion down below. What is your take on the level cap increase? Anyway, performance and stability is something that we always wanted in this game. It's something that players are still struggling with, especially like the menus loading a little bit too slowish, even though there have been improvements. So according to the notes over here, with each coming patches you can expect some updates to enhance the player experience. For example, for UI improvements that will come with the second campaign add-on. So this is gonna happen sometimes after the end of this month, not before that, though some incremental changes are kind of hinted over here as well. Now, the one quality of life change that I was actually really waiting for is the skippable cutscene update. So I think it's no surprise to anyone that this is going to be added in this update, since this has been talked about for at least a week at this point. But skippable in-game cutscenes are coming soon. We're in the process of testing this feature now, and it will launch in the upcoming February patch. All cutscenes in the game, whether you've seen them or not, will be skippable during solo play or by the host of your party during multiplayer. So there you have it. This should have been honestly added a long time ago, but at the very least it's a quality of life change that I think many players will be happy about, especially on their second playthroughs, third playthroughs, and so on and so forth. We also have the Guardian rank toggling, which basically lets you disable your Guardian ranks, the ones you've invested points into, be it, you know, individual ones, or simply just disabling the entire tree or the entire system, if you prefer, you know, something more vanilla according to the notes over here. And in the future they're planning to expand the Guardian rank system to include additional perks, which sounds really exciting. We are looking to introduce these new perks in tandem with the second campaign add-on, but they will not be tied into that content. So yeah, I think this is actually a nice introduction. If they are introducing interesting Guardian ranks and not just like, you know, stat increases and other kind of boring stuff, I think that would be awesome, but I'm curious to see what Gearbox has in mind when it comes to additional ranks on top. Moving on, we have another one called event toggling. If you ever got pissed by any of the currently running updates, like for example the Bloody Harvest, or like, I'm not sure, any other update out there that was seasonal, you will have a choice, an option, or, you know, a possibility to toggle that event on and off with the February patch that is gonna be happening. So for example, during the Broken Hearts Day, the seasonal event that is dropping really soon, you will now be able to toggle the event's game-wide effects on or off via the main menu, which also raises the question, what type of game-wide effects will the seasonal event, the Broken Hearts Day, have over the game? It's something that's probably gonna happen in the style of how it was with the Bloody Harvest or any other, you know, seasonal event that was out there. So something that is probably going to affect all of the maps in the game, all the already existing content and enemies, you know, maybe like collecting hearts and donating them for something, or maybe like just collecting flowers or whatever from enemies, or roses. I'm not entirely sure what, but this does sound like very similar to how it was with the Bloody Harvest. Fight for your life improvements. According to this, they are looking at increasing the interaction radius between players, telegraphing revives to other players more clearly, and allowing multiple players to contribute to a revive. We expect to have this available only in March, so probably that's also when to expect the second DLC. Maybe does this hint towards a March 2nd DLC, since well, the content update is gonna happen now in February and they haven't talked about anything else in March, so I'm really curious to see if that is the case, but this does sound like an interesting change. We also have some more talks about Mayhem 2.0 that's been in the talks for about like 5 months at this point, so sweeping changes are still in the works. Gearbox is still working on implementing these, so we're still fine-tuning some of its elements, and we'll have a separate update on this in the future, focusing on how Mayhem 2.0 will impact Borderlands 3's endgame experience. So supposedly this is going to come with new effects that are less boring, something that is going to increase the difficulty in a more active manner rather than a passive one, like just increasing the stats or decreasing your stats so that you feel weaker against the enemy. I always thought that that was a pretty bad design decision for a 2019 game, but Mayhem 2.0 was already presented in the past, so you probably already know about it, which is why I'm gonna skip to the next part, which is of course the new story paid DLC that is gonna follow. We already had Mox's DLC, which was honestly a blast. I really loved it, even though it was pretty much Handsome Jack all over again. It was fun. It was, you know, kind of like a throwback to Borderlands 2. I had fun in it, the loot was really good, getting the gear I wanted was on point pretty much, or at the very least better than how it was in the base game. But according to the notes over here, be sure to tune in to the Gearbox panel at PAX East on February 27. The panel will stream live on their official Twitch account starting at 11:30 AM Pacific time or 2:30 PM Eastern time, and there's like 7:30 p.m. GMT as well. So expect a whole bunch of exciting content announcements, including the full reveal of Borderlands 3's second paid campaign expansion. So yeah, it does sound really exciting. I'm really looking forward to the DLC rather than the February patch, even though the February patch does hold some interesting changes in there as well. Let me know down below what's your opinion on all of this. What's the thing that you're excited about? What's the thing that you're maybe disappointed about? If you are, leave your comment down below, and in the meantime also don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more awesome Borderlands 3 content, and I'll see you guys next time.